a guy in Russia just
You wanted the best. You've got the best podcast. The hottest podcast in the world. The Chris Voss Show, the preeminent podcast with guests so smart you may experience serious brain bleed. Get ready. Strap yourself in. Keep your hands, arms, and legs inside the vehicle at all times, because you're about to go on a monster education roller coaster with your brain. Now, here's your host, Chris Voss.
Hi, folks. Chris Voss here from the ChrisVossShow.com, the ChrisVossShow.com. Hey, we're certainly appreciative of you tuning in. We certainly appreciate it. Oh, my gosh, another show. We've got a really amazing show with a really amazing new startup company. Well, they're not new anymore. Maybe they are. I don't know. They're killing it. They're killing it, I say. And so we're going to be talking to them today. To watch the video version, let's go to youtube.com/Chris Voss. Hit the bell notification button. Refer all the show to your friends, neighbors, relatives. Get them subscribed on iTunes and all the different syndications platforms. Go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss. See what we're reading over there. Go to all the Facebook groups, LinkedIn groups, and Instagram groups as well. Today, we have two amazing people on the show with us. One gentleman I've known for several years. He is part of a group called GoodFair. And we have the founder and CEO, Topper Luciani, with us, and my good friend, Ryan Merket. And this episode is brought to you by a sponsor, ifi-audio.com, and their micro iDSD signature. It's a top-of-the-range desktop transportable DAC and headphone app that will supercharge your headphones. It has 2 brown burr DAC chips in it and will decode high-res audio and MQA files. We're using it in the studio right now. I've loved my experience with it so far. It just makes everything sound so much more richer and better and takes things to the next level. iFi Audio is an award-winning audio tech company with one aim in mind: to improve your music enjoyment of quality sound, eradicate noise, distortion, and hiss from your listening experience. Check out their new incredible lineup of DACs and audio enhancement devices at ifi-audio.com. And Ryan, what's your title over there these days?
Yeah, I'm head of product and engineering for GoodFair.
There you go. There you go. So welcome to the show, guys. Give us the .com for where people can find out more about GoodFair.
GoodFair.com, GoodFair.com.
There you
and
go.
I'll tell you the story in a little bit, but I found the domain just random. A guy in Russia just had it randomly.
Vlad? Was it Vlad?
Yeah, something like that.
It's always Vlad. Vlad's always got it.
It's always Vlad.
It's always
They just
Vlad.
put like 2 fun English words together and bought the domain.
GoodFair. So give us both your bios and rundowns, because I know you guys have incredible experience in this in tech business, if you will.
Ryan first, please.
Me? Sure, yeah, okay. I was born in Texas. I was always kind of a hacker growing up, and decided that I was going to get really good at reverse engineering software, which is basically when you install software, it asks you for your name and serial number or a 30-day limit or something like that. And I would tear it apart with different software tools and figure out how the inner workings would work and then reverse engineer it so I could use it forever. So that was basically my high school and middle school growing up. I just was infatuated with reverse engineering software. It's kind of nerdy, I know, but now I'm in a fashion company.
There you go.
And so I ended up going to an HBCU to get my undergrad done. It's called St. Philip's College in San Antonio, and then transferred to a 4-year university called Oklahoma Wesleyan, which is a Christian liberal arts university. My dad's a pastor. And so, it felt important for me to be close to, strong ideals and things like that and values. And so that's and ultimately what I did. I went to school there, and luckily I met my wife, who's now she was my girlfriend at the time, my beautiful wife. And, we have 2 amazing children together. We're in Austin. But, through that, I ended up getting a job out in the Bay Area and moving out to Berkeley right after school and working at a small startup called DotSpotter that ended up getting acquired about 6 months after I joined. It was totally the Silicon Valley episode of like, you move out to the Valley, join a startup, get acquired, and then assimilate the teams together and all that awkwardness of like, hey, I'm an engineer. Cool, I'm an engineer. Are you taking my job? And then, eventually that was CBS Interactive who bought us out, which is, CBS.com and CNET. They eventually bought CNET too. And they kind of threw us into the CNET building with the rest of those folks, and it was just really awkward for a while. But anyway, I ended up going to Facebook in 2009 and helping them launch the Facebook platform and the blue login button you see all over the internet. So I apologize for that. So I'm really sorry. That was part of my team. And so for pittance, I left Facebook and started my own company about a year after I joined. It was pretty obvious that I needed to go do my own thing. And so I've always been an entrepreneur and operator. And so 3 months after I left Facebook, I launched a company at TechCrunch Disrupt in New York. It was the first New York TechCrunch Disrupt. We ended up losing to Hotel Tonight and Betterment, but it was a really good experience. The company is called App Bistro, and we had some really great investors. We ended up taking 2 rounds and then got acquired by an Indian unicorn called InMobi, who had just raised a bunch of money from SoftBank. And so we taking my company there for 2 years, and we ended up getting acquired by them. I was there for 2 years as director of product. And then, sorry, my mind is ahead of my mouth right now. I just want to talk really fast, but I didn't remember I'm on a podcast. And so anyway, long story short, I had spent 14 trips to India to integrate my software into their team and to their software. And it was just, it was a crazy time. And then after my earnout, I went to Reddit and was there as their product manager, was there for a while and helped them integrate really tasteful ads across the platform. And then I got whispered to go to Amazon. And so long story short, Amazon is what brought me back to Texas. And in that role, I was mentoring startups and startup founders for AWS. And it was a really amazing role, just an amazing amount of people, and the team at Amazon were incredible. And that's what brought me back to Austin to kind of do that role in Austin to help the Austin ecosystem mentor, kind of like a paid mentor for Amazon. And through that's how I got connected to GoodFair. And one of our top mentors and advisors of the company was actually a good friend of mine and Topper's as well, and so put us in touch. And yeah, the rest is history. I just fell in love with the mission and what we were building, and the culture. And then it's just Topper. I mean, Topper's an amazing dude. I mean,
so are you?
Hey, stop it. The more you get to know him, the more he's just a great dude. And so it was just, I wanted to be part of it. And I saw the mission, the problem, and we'll get into the problem, but it is just massive. Oil and gas. It's clothing waste is the second highest polluter behind oil and gas. And so, if we can get even a small dent in this problem, it's my life's work, right? And so there's all this cool jobs I've had before, but nothing really matters if, we're all boiling to death in 80 years, right? So yeah, if to me, this is my life's work, and I can't be more excited to be part of this team and driving this mission forward. So
there you go. And if you're watching this on YouTube right now, you see that Ryan spends his days on a beach with waves crashing up against the back.
Yeah, I wish. I'm in my home office right now. But
Topper, with what we have left of the show, I think it's about 5 minutes. Give us your bio so we can find out more about you. We love you, Ryan.
Basically, I've been in the used clothing space for the past 10 or 12 years. I first started off selling used neckties on eBay, and then my name was the Emperor of Thailand, and I became eBay's #1 tie seller. And then basically I thought there was an opportunity to sell vintage online. So I did a startup called Nifty Thrifty, where I was just pushing vintage, but I ultimately just couldn't launch. Failure to launch, baby. So I just experimented, and I realized that selling mystery thrift was the opportunity, and branding it through the lens of sustainability was the opportunity to really scale. So I moved from New York City to Houston. I had no money. I partnered with a textile recycler that kind of helped me, not for equity, but just kind of gave me a little bit of credit and terms to pay him, and help me set up shop in his giant warehouse. He gave me a back closet. So I had a $600 a month studio apartment in Houston, and I was able to ship orders out of a back closet of a textile recycler. And from that, I was able to raise some money, and I was able to build the team, and all of these blessings that have kind of happened in the last 2 or 3 years because of the consumer demand around this, and around, the tailwinds around sustainability.
This is crazy, man. And so you guys come up with this concept, and this is stuff that would normally get thrown away or put in landfills. GoodFair has?
Yeah, a lot of it. Basically, what happens is a lot of it gets exported to developing countries, and what happens is after a month or two of not being able to sell some of this stuff, they're making such a fat margin on the goods that the stuff that they don't want to sell or can't sell, they just throw in a landfill or dispose of it in other ways, incinerate it. So
let's talk about what GoodFair does. What do you guys do specifically?
So we're an online thrift store that sells mystery bundles of first apparel through selling by category. So ultimately, if you come to the website and you want a used flannel shirt, well, we don't sell one flannel shirt. We're going to sell you 4 flannel shirts for $25, and you just tell us your size. And so we vet by quality, and we separate everything by size, and so you've got kind of the thrill of the excitement of a mystery, but also from a business perspective, it allows us to scalably sell what's in the waste stream as opposed to cataloging every single piece with clothing that is not valuable enough to justify that level of investment.
Mm-hmm. So you guys are saving it from landfills, and then I think you guys find gems in there, from what I understand, too, as well, don't you?
Absolutely.
Ryan,
would you like to speak about the gem?
Yeah, I mean, like part of the process is when we rip open these bales, like the ones you see behind Topper, we find, we categorize the items into vintage, thrift, and discount. And the vintage items are, think about it, they're actually waste. Like they're usually the oldest part of the bale. There might have a small hole in it or a small tear because it's so old, but it's actually the vintage and they're actually worth the most.
Brian, I didn't show you this one, but since it's fun for a podcast, so we found this. I found this in the vintage area today. It is a T-shirt from a whorehouse, and it says Mustang Ranch, where quality keeps them coming, and it's from 1983. Quality control supervisor of the Mustang.
Quality control. Oh my gosh!
I think what made me excited was Ryan was telling us about how you can find like old cool T-shirts, like Metallica. I'm a big Metallica.
Oh yeah. And so like,
we pulled out a freaking Iron Maiden T-shirt from 1983. I'm just gonna grab that.
Go grab it. Go grab it.
Yeah.
So but think about it. Like these T-shirts are the ones so from our suppliers are the textile recyclers, and what they're doing is buying from the Goodwill and Salvation Armies, who get so many donations on the weekends. They just throw it all into a semi truck, ship it to Houston, and then our suppliers get the raw donations, categorize it for us, put them into the bales, and then they don't understand that an Iron Maiden shirt from '83 is worth $250, $300,
$500.
$500. Holy crap! Wow,
so it's incredible.
I got to go through my concert T-shirts I own.
You sure do.
Oh, look at that! Yeah, there's Eddie.
Oh, you know Eddie.
Oh, I went to Iron Maiden, I think in 84, 89. What was it? I know I went to the one with the pyramids on it, Power Slave, but I think I went to the one before that. I've been to a couple different Iron Maiden ones, yeah.
That's awesome. Well, maybe we'll send this shirt to you, Chris. Maybe not. We'll see.
$500. All right.
At least.
I mean, I'm going through my old stuff, man. I got a 1984 Van Halen shirt. I mean, that's the last two.
That's very
wow. That's legit.
I could probably
Diamond Dave.
So Nordstrom's reached out and they're like, hey, can we put some of your vintage stuff on our website? And we were like, yeah, absolutely. We did a test order, 200 items, gone, less than 2 hours.
Wow.
They doubled it, 400, gone, 6 hours. So now we're in 6 of their stores and we keep getting larger and larger POs from them. And then you have to remember, this is our waste. It's the waste from America that's just so valuable. Now it's going to a Nordstrom's, right? So it's incredible, and it just shows the demand for this stuff. So
is
awesome.
Part of it because of like fashion?
Yeah.
I remember when we started having this thing where I think we owned a store called Cool Cats, and they would have like ripped jeans, and I'm like, do we paid for these? They're like fucking ripped, and they're like, no, that's how they want them, and you're just like, really? And so it's crazy. Who's a large part of your customer base that goes to your website and buys other than the big chains? Is it people that are, they're really into recycling and things along those, or they're looking for collector's items, or who's usually that person?
Yeah, I would say it's a mixture of that. I mean, like it's a lot of younger folks, obviously. I mean, like there is a direct impact on climate change when you buy from us, because this is literally one step from a landfill. And not to segue, but we just had a container of Pakistani crew necks come in, basically because, we want to save these things from they end up in a landfill. And so if we can save them, and it's, way cheaper to get it from Pakistan, we'll do it too, right? We'll get it from all over the globe as long as it's within our mission. And so, yeah, I mean, like for us, it's all about, the mission and yeah, it's 4:30 and we've been on calls all day and my brain is a little fried right now, but yeah.
It's okay, Ryan. We'll carry you through, man.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
We keep you laughing. We keep the juices going. Suck down some coffee there. We got you here. We won't go too much longer. So, but there's money in this too. I mean, that's the really cool thing. You guys, from the way Ryan described it to us, you guys basically turned a textile, kind of an old world crap sort of product into a tech company, really. And then there's money in this. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's the margins are incredible. I mean, if you think about it, we're taking waste and selling it as a premium. So, it's a great business model. On top of it, it's actually doing something for the earth. And I keep going to that because it's so important. My 7-year-old Charlie said, Dad, I'm proud of you. And I'm like, well, why? And he's like, because you're doing something for climate change. And I'm like, how old are you? How do you like? But it was just like I got the goosebumps. I was like, wow, this is actually really cool.
Awesome.
Like we're doing something. So
you got to enjoy that while you can, because once you hit the teens, then you never know.
Right. He's like, give me the credit card.
Be a good kid. Yeah, he's gonna, I hate you, Dad. Give me the credit card. Give me the car keys. Anyway, they go through that teenage stuff. But no, this is really cool. So what's the future of GoodFair that you guys see coming? And do you want to talk about some of the numerical numbers to throw at people, the wave around success?
Well, we're
he's asking for revenue numbers, I think.
No, I figured you guys could brag a little bit if you want.
We're doing 8 figures, and we basically are growing really, really fast.
Tripled last year's numbers. So
yep.
And Ryan was telling us you just got I think a new warehouse. And so, I mean, this is the cool thing. A lot of people don't get into this business. A lot of people probably dismissed it for so many years. And there's no money in digging stuff out of landfills. There's nothing there. And you guys have found this perfect little niche that probably not too many people are excited to get into, but it makes money. It saves the world. And it sounds like a lot of this new generation, they're very concerned about that sort of thing. And so you guys are hitting on all cylinders basically. And now you guys are getting picked up by, these big retailers, and I guess margins are great for everybody at that point.
Mm-hmm. Topper, do you want to give the Chris Voss audience the big vision?
Yeah, so
without giving away too much, obviously.
Yeah, so ultimately, the thrift industry is growing at 6% a year, which is significantly faster than traditional retail.
Wow!
And we see a dream that a vision for GoodFair is well beyond adult apparel. We see a world where GoodFair is disrupting Amazon one day when people are wanting to shop secondhand before they're shopping new. And the bottom line is, you've got companies or nonprofits like Goodwill and Salvation Army that are already doing $5 billion in revenue. So we're not reinventing any wheel or creating any consumer demand. The demand is already there. We're just facilitating it with, making it easy on the web. And so our goal is to be selling far beyond apparel, kids clothing, footwear, housing and home goods, soft goods, hard goods, and then eventually get into sporting equipment, tools, all the things that are in the waste stream. There's an opportunity for GoodFair to sell.
That's a brilliant vision, because I remember we used to just go dump everything at like up here in Utah. It's the Desert Industries that's run by the Mormon Church, but it's basically their local Goodwill. In Vegas, there was always the Goodwill. We just go dump anything with them, and now they have like people there that are like, yeah, we're not taking that, and yeah, we're not taking that. I'm like, when did you guys get too good for crap? Like, what the fuck?
Isn't that your job?
Yeah, it's not your job. You're supposed to take my crap. In fact, I used to love going down in the middle of the night and just dumping stuff and leaving. Yeah. But the local Desert Industries here, they've got all gated off. You can't go in there and just dump shit anymore. Like they're like really high-minded about it. Like, I'm sorry, but your crap is not good enough for our Goodwill.
That's crazy.
So like you guys said, there's so much overrun and all this sort of good stuff going on. So this is pretty exciting, because I think there's more of a use case for us, and we need to reuse stuff more often. I mean, I do all my dating secondhand, so there's that. We need to recycle stuff. Although I don't know, my friends are always like, you should get a dog at the dog adoption clinic, and I always go, did you get your kids at the adoption clinic first? Because if so, I'll get my dog. See how that works? But no, man, this is a good thing. It's good for the environment. It's good for the world. And hopefully it'll make us think maybe more about how much stuff we create. And I imagine cyclical through the system, this might make less new things being made, less consumption of new goods, trees, fabric.
That's our goal. Our goal is really to reframe the conversation around consumption, that we don't need so much new stuff all the time.
Yeah. I remember the movie from, was it Fight Club? Where we buy stuff to impress people that don't give a crap about
we don't like, or exactly.
There you go. So as we go out, anything more you guys want to talk about?
Yeah, I don't know. We're just building an amazing company. We have a great team. We have a leadership team that's insanely just working their butts off. Let's just put it that way. And then we have a warehouse team that is just burning it on both ends. Working nights and weekends, and we're just
the mission.
We're all committed to this mission. And it's 20, 30 employees in the office, another 50 in the warehouses, and this is just day one. We keep saying it over and over again. Day one, and we're trying to build a generational defining brand. And if we're even just a sliver successful at that, we're going to have an impact on climate change. And really, that's what all this is for. And we're building a big business in the process, and that's awesome. But if we're just slightly successful in our first goal, then that's what it's all about. So,
and I think it's really cool you guys have turned this into a tech business, basically.
Well, there's a lot of tech to go here. I mean, we're automation in the warehouse. We're innovating, and a lot of the bundles. Think about it, everything on our site is a bundle. So we really had to think of how can we do inventory planning, forecasting, inventory restructuring, and all that stuff through Shopify by using bundles. And it's complicated, right? And so we had to put a lot of IP into it. So there's a lot of tech that's really enabling this to scale. And we think, we're going to be going out for a Series A soon. And, part of that capital infusion will be, using technology to really optimize our costs, to really unlock the margin even more, if that's even possible. But, there's a lot of margin, still on the table to be had. That's for sure.
Maybe you guys can have AI machines that will figure out which ones are the Metallica shirts and all that stuff.
Don't give away our roadmap, Chris.
There you go. Well, me and Robert Scove, we talk a lot. He never shuts up about AI, so I have to hear about it all the time. But no, this is really nice, guys. I think this is really brilliant. Like I said, Ryan came into our clubhouse room and just blew up the room. Everyone just sat around and went, "What? You do what?" And they just were crazy about it. So they were excited to see this interview and hear it. And I'm sure people that aren't aware of it will check it out as well. Tell people where to go on the website to find more out about you guys.
Yeah, so it's GoodFair.com. There's an About Us section you click on. You can also follow Topper on Twitter. He's got a tweeter. I got it one too. Topper, just search for Topper. What's your Twitter?
Topper JL.
Topper JL. Mine's just my last name. So find us on the interwebs. We're trying to do more clubhouses. If you can get Topper into a clubhouse, I'm sure he'd love to chat for a while in there. But yeah, we were just trying to get the word out. We've been so heads down just building the business that we don't do a lot of these podcasts or interviews just because it's, we have a call in 30 minutes with a guy in the West Coast. We just had one right. We were late because we had a VC call. So we're just so in the weeds that, we don't get enough chances to talk about what we're truly building. And most people think when they think GoodFair, they think, oh, they're just going into a thrift store and getting something off the shelf and then selling it to us. That's the complete opposite of what we're doing. To be fully transparent, there are times we have to do that, right? To get an order out the door. We just don't have that crew neck. Let's go get it off a retailer's shelf. And that does happen, full transparency, but that's probably less than 1% of our items in the warehouse. So that we ship out. So anyway, that's GoodFair, and it's a really cool story. And I just want more and more people to know about what we're up to. And, we're not going anywhere, and we're going to get bigger and bigger. And hopefully in that process, we can have a sizable impact on the climate. So.
And what was really cool was I looked up your guys' TikTok. Holy mother of Judas.
Oh, we didn't tell you the story. Oh, man. We have time? How much time?
Yeah, we got plenty of time. I was just
okay. All right. Well, yeah. So Topper, when I started, we were an Instagram, Facebook only kind of shop. And that did great for us. Still does great for us. But then I randomly I didn't tell anybody, I don't think. I just changed the thank you page to say, hey, we love seeing, your TikTok unboxing videos. Because there was some apprehension internally to go to TikTok because we were doing so good on Instagram.
No idea what it was.
Yeah, we didn't know what it was.
I still don't.
And so I was like, well, let's just try it. Maybe someone will do a video and it will go viral. Maybe that's how it works. And so we kind of just left it alone. And, a month or two later, we started getting a bunch of organic traffic in, and we were like, where is that coming from? We thought it was Instagram. We thought it was maybe word of mouth. We weren't sure. And then one weekend, it was a Friday. I remember it was the Easter, right as the quarantine was setting in. Everyone was like, okay, this is going to be awful for the next year probably. And it was that Friday. I remember we usually were getting about a couple $100 in revenue an hour, $500 or something. And it just shot up. Like in 1 hour, we were looking at like $12,000 an hour. And then we kept hitting refresh up to like 30,000, 40,000, 50,000. I was like, what is going on? And like, it turns out some video from a mom in South Carolina, what was her name? I don't know. We'll have to put it in the show notes. I'll give you her TikTok. We have to give her some love. Shayna, I want to say. Anyway, she ended up, watching this or putting out that video out, and it went super viral that weekend. And we basically did our seed round through customer revenue in like 3 days. There's so much demand. It was like, almost, it was like 600,000 in like a week or something.
Yeah. 200. It was 230 in a day.
230, yeah, it was insane. And so that was really what put us on the map. That was April of that year, and we just started scaling from then on out. We raised the seed and put the right people in the right place, hired an amazing leadership team, an amazing, operations team, warehouse team. And it's just been off to the races ever since. And it's been an incredible journey. I mean, we have fun every time. Like I can't wait to get up in the morning and like get on the calls with everybody. It's just so fun. Like on Mondays when people join our weekly call, I join first, and I'll put some music on. like I think we had some Kanye a couple weeks ago, and then this week we had Whitney Houston. I want to dance with somebody, and that whole, everyone's all dancing in their Zoom, and it's just, the culture that we're building is the culture I've always dreamed of working at. And I know it's culture Topper's always dreamed of being a part of. And so we're really selective about who we hire on a culture basis. So our interview process is, down pat. We ask very culture specific questions, and then we're quick to let people go. Like if you're not working out, like unfortunately, like we have to make hard decisions quickly in this business. And so that's part of the game. And, and so we're quick to let people go and to make sure we're building the right team early on to really make sure that we're all on the same page. We're all on the same mission. So it's been so much fun, Chris, man. I can't tell you how much fun Topper and I have had. And like, I haven't even barely seen the dude. I'm in Austin. He's in Houston. So I come to the warehouse maybe once a week, but like our whole team is pretty much virtual except for the warehouse folks in Topper. And so it's been really fun just building a whole virtual company really over the last, whatever we're in, the virus, COVID.
Was that a necessity with the virus then?
Yeah. I mean, it was forced upon us. Our original plan was to open an office in Austin on 6th Street, yes. 6th Street, but not in like the party section, like down on the east side where it's a little bit more chill. Actually, you were there, Chris. You remember that house we went to with who was the guy we were with?
Remember the last one we went to
South by Southwest. There was a house and it had a DJ in the back. And that house was the one we were going to rent. That was in our business plan to rent that house, make it the GoodFair house. And we were going to have events there and invite the university students and like have a lot of like on brand message, like just events, like all kinds of cool stuff, South by Southwest Park, all that stuff. And then the freaking COVID happened. And so then we had to change our whole business plan to be a digital first company, digital first, brand. We were going to send some college kids out to all the festivals with GoodFair merch and set up tables and have a real sorry, it's getting a little late, but having like a on ground type of marketing strategy. And that was completely reversed. We went all digital. So yeah. And we haven't done anything on with events yet. So
this will be interesting when you guys do, right? Like something at South by Southwest when they have a
or like Coachella, like having Coachella? Like a bit, and
oh god, those people at Coachella, man, those chicks would love those clothes, all the hipster sort of chicks. They love to dress up when they go there, and they always look kind of hipsters. Yeah, 77.4 million likes on TikTok, 373.4 million followers. You guys have this rabid following of people just making all these crazy, funny videos about your brand. That is just awesome.
It's a good feeling. It's a awesome. Really, really good feeling. I think Topper, it's important for us to sit back and look at it because we're so in it, and like to sit back. Like we had a conversation with some VCs and they were like, "Oh, our son told us about you." We were like, "What?" Like that's amazing, and like We're still waiting for that random GoodFair shirt in the wild. I haven't seen one yet. I think Topper hasn't seen one either, but it's going to happen. We're already seeing our GoodFair stuff. Like, oh, I forgot to tell you, we're screen printing GoodFair on blank t-shirts and putting that into the mix as well. And that's helping with word of mouth. So like Topper's example there, he's wearing a GoodFair screen printed shirt. And so, so that gets out there. So if you search on like, Poshmark or any of these other sites that sell, thrift stuff, you'll find GoodFair stuff for sale, like a $30 sweatshirt. But to us was, a couple bucks to make. So it's just incredible. It's incredible. We're building a whole revolution. It's amazing.
Markup's almost better than, making something new and doing it almost.
It is better.
It is better. Yeah, it's better. Yeah.
That's hilarious. You gotta love it.
But it's good too, right? It's like a perfect business model, and we're doing something good for the earth. It's just like, wow, can it get any better? So
that's amazing. I had my good friend Kara Golden, the CEO of Hint Water, on the show with her new book.
Love Hint Water.
Undaunted.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
And so we were talking, kind of the end of the show, we started talking about TikTok. And then after the show for about an hour, we sat and talked about how TikTok. And I'm like, you really need to get Hint Water and your brand on TikTok. He's like, I don't know, it's for the kids. And you can see like the end of the recording, we started talking about it. And so I talked to her, I says, get on it. And I kind of told her how it kind of works. So I go over there to check the other day, and she's like killing it. She's even bigger than her own brand, Hint Water. Like Hint Water's amazing. Well, but she's just doing her, her little tips for business and stuff. And people love, her. She's awesome. So yeah, it's interesting. A whole new generation too that are going to be raised on GoodFair, and you guys will be right there for the ride.
So I'm not going to throw any shade, but TikTok did steal our content creator, and now she works for TikTok to help other businesses build content. So we were definitely doing something right there. We love you, TikTok. Don't steal our employees.
Well, there you go. Well, guys, thanks for coming on the show and spending some time with us. The people that Ryan came into in our clubhouse, like I said, were just blown away. They're just like, holy crap, and the numbers and how it makes sense. And you're just like, it's just one of those things like you just never saw it as like a big business sort of thing, and one that saves the world. So this is awesome, guys. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chris. That was super fun.
Hey, thanks for having us, man.
Thank you. Awesome. We'll spread the word, man. We'll get it out. So give us a word people can go look you guys up online, and we'll take us out.
Yeah, goodfair.com is where you can find, where you can buy, the best quality used secondhand clothes.
There you go. There you go. Save some money, save the earth, all that good stuff. Thanks, Mountains, for tuning in. Go to youtube.com/Chris Voss. Hit the bell notification button. Go to all our groups on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. There's even one on TikTok. We're trying to, get our thing on TikTok going there. And also go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next time.
Awesome.
Thanks, Chris.